Hi and welcome along to AFTV News Daily. Hope you guys are feeling good this evening. And we've got a very special guest joining us today. We've got Curtis Shaw.
Sounding bro.
Right. Big Arsenal fan, as you know. You'll see him do many interviews after games on AFTV. Also, our top striker in the AFTV FC team. He's one of the few players that did brilliantly. Actually, all the players did brilliantly up until that final. But Curtis is one of our top ballers in the team, and also very knowledgeable, of course, on football. And that's why we had to get him on. You will see him on the show that he does, Talk Is Cheap, which he does with my brother, where they, discuss all things Arsenal and other football matters. Curtis, great to have you on today, mate.
Good to talk to you, bro, man. It's good to see someone, man, Lockdown's brilliant right now.
How you been coping?
Boy, man, you know what it's like because I got the little one, the kid, he keeps me active, man, but it's hard, man, because, I'm not taking no chances right now. I'm not going out too often.
Yeah. So that's a great look, mate. Don't go out too often. Yeah. Don't do a Jack Grealish. Let's touch on that straight away. I don't know if you've seen these rumours. Hasn't been confirmed yet, by the way. I was saying earlier, I did a video with Troops, and I was saying to him earlier, it hasn't really been confirmed yet, but lots of the rumours that are flying around is that Grealish broke down, went out, looked like he was at a mate's house, had a few to drink, crashed his car, left it there. This is what the rumours are saying. It's alleged at the moment. But if this is true, that's terrible, isn't it? What's Grealish dealing with, man? I mean, he's lost the plot, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, do you know what? I met him a few times because I think about 4 or 5 years ago, he was on loan at Notts County when I was living in Nottingham back then. I saw him out a few times, man, and he was, let's just say he was always rather intoxicated anyway when I saw him.
Likes the party.
Yeah, he likes the party, man. And obviously now he's like 24. He's Aston Villa captain. He should know better, man. He's done this a few times.
Yep, there was that time, famously where he was laid. I think it was either Ibiza or Tenerife or something. My man was like laid out on the floor like that. And I was like, But to be fair to him, he come back. He's been Villa's best player this season. He's been brilliant. And a player that I'd look at and say, if Villa went down, Arsenal should be trying to bring him in. I think he'd be a perfect, say, long-term Ozil replacement. But he's really, if this turns out to be true, that's terrible. When you think about what's going on at the moment, the strain that the NHS is under, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's just madness.
Yeah, man. And he did a video the other day as well saying stay indoors, stay safe, all that. And then he goes and does that at the weekend, man. It's crazy, isn't it? It's irresponsible, but
very irresponsible. I'm hoping it's not true. But those pictures look pretty damning at the moment. But I'm hoping, because you just think to yourself, professional footballer, man. You know what I mean? You should do better than that.
Yeah, 100%.
Now
they'll hit him with a maximum fine.
Sorry?
He'll get the maximum fine, I'm sure, but
but you know what? Maximum fine's one thing, but I think people as well at this moment in time are looking at things like that in absolute disgust and saying, "Come on, man, what is up with this guy?" You know what I mean?
Yeah. A normal man would go to jail for that, probably.
Yeah. Well, he still could. I mean, apparently, the police are investigating it. He still could get jail for it. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to watch this space and see what happens with this. Now, let me ask you a question, yeah? What have Ryan Fraser, Willian, and Levin Kurzawa all got in common?
I mean, I suppose they're all coming up to being free agents, so I suppose Arsenal are looking at all of them.
Free! They're free! End of the season, all three of them are free. And today there's big, strong rumours around that Arsenal are interested in all three of those players. Because you know us already. We like those free bargain bucket players. We've been doing pure that lately, isn't it? Bargain bucket, right? What do you think? You know, Ryan Fraser, Willian, Layvin Kurzawa. What do you think of those three players? Would they be worth bringing in on a free? Let's start Willian. Obviously, a brilliant player for Chelsea over the years. Famously went to Tottenham, chose to go to Chelsea. He has been outstanding for Chelsea over the years. Still, you know, got a bit in him, hasn't he? I mean, would that be a good addition at Arsenal?
I mean, you know what? Willian is a good player, very good player. 2 or 3 years ago, I would have jumped it. Now, I'm not sure. I'm reading that he wants a 3-year contract as well. And he's 31 now. I mean, are we going to give him a 3-year deal to his 34? He plays on the right. We've got Pepe. Pepe must be on big money as well. You know, if it was short term, maybe for a year, I would say maybe I would go for that. He's still got quality. But for 3 years, man, and you got Nelson there as well, you're basically finishing him off if you bring in Willian. So for me, probably not at this stage. Although I do rate him as a player, but overall the deal don't really make sense to me.
All right. Layvin Kurzawa, who we were linked heavily with in January. And now, you know, he stayed on at PSG. And again, we're being linked with him. Well, there was rumors in January that, you know, the reason why we didn't go through with that was because of Arteta. He was like, no, you know what I mean? I don't want to bring in Layvin Kurzawa right now. But that name's come back up again. And again, free transfer, which, you know, a lot of clubs are going to be a bit short of cash. So, you know, but Layvin Kurzawa, left back.
Yeah. Defensively, he's average. Going forward, he's all right. The only thing I would look at with this, I'm thinking you'd have Tierney back next season. Kolasinac, potentially, I reckon they might sell him. You could probably get decent money for Kolasinac as well. We bought him for nothing. So if we could possibly maybe sell Kolasinac for 15, 20 million pounds, get Kurzawa in on a free as backup for Tierney. You've also got Saka as well, who's been brilliant there, although I think he probably wants to play on the wing. So from a business point of view, that one I think would be all right. Although I don't think Kurzawa is amazing, but as a squad player, that one might be all right.
You've already got, I don't know, man, because you've got Saka. Even if Kolasinac did go, you've got Saka, who you could say, right, he could be a backup left back, or he could play on the left hand side further forward, like you said.
Yeah.
No, because I was still going to demand wages, isn't he? So I don't know. But you think maybe not a bad.
The only reason I would look at it because Tierney's injuries are worrying me at the moment. You know, he had injuries at the end of his Celtic career. He's hardly played for us this season, really, hasn't he? So, you know, if he's struggling again next year, I wouldn't want Saka to be the full-time left back. Unless he wants to play.
Why not?
Well, you know, he hasn't even signed a contract. He has been brilliant.
Maybe that's his position.
Yeah, maybe. He actually probably looked better at left back than left wing. So, yeah, maybe if he wanted to play there, but yeah, maybe. Maybe we go with Saka, but he needs to sign the new contract, man, again. Raul,
that's true.
Raul and Rampin, man.
And then there's Ryan Fraser, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
You know, we were looking at him last year, apparently, in the transfer window. At that time, Bournemouth were talking about they want like 20 million for him, 30 million, all things like that. They didn't get that. He stayed, and now he's another player that will be leaving Bournemouth come the end of the season. Last season, he was like one of the top players for assists in the Premier League. Would he be worth a punt? Free transfer?
It's funny because, like you say, a year ago on a free, we'd have all taken him. He's had a bad season, but, you know, has he been distracted because he knows he's leaving and Bournemouth have struggled? I mean, do you know what? It's funny because I said no to Willian, but I like Willian more than Fraser. But it's just because of the structure of the deal, I wouldn't take Willian. So
Fraser's younger.
He's younger. As a squad player, maybe, because you sell a Mkhitaryan for maybe 15 million to Roma. We got Martinelli, Pepe. Then you'd have like Saka, Nelson, Fraser. He could come in as a squad player. On a free, he'd be all right. What do you think about them three?
Well, you know what? Before I do that, let me get like a comment here. This is a Beats box tray.
Yeah.
He says Fraser is even better than Saka. So he's not on that one. And he also goes on to say Arsenal penny pinching as usual. Now, these are just rumours, by the way, right? Nobody said that these are definite players that we're going to get. They're rumours that are flying around at the moment. But I don't know. I look at those three. If I was going to take one out of those three,
yeah,
it'd probably be Ryan Fraser because he's younger. I think the Willian thing, he's been a great player and he could come to Arsenal, he could do a few bits, but how many more of these Chelsea ex-players take, man? You know what I mean? Yeah, rejects, man. You know what I mean? How many more of those are we going to take? He's been a good player and he could probably come in and throughout a season be a bit part do all right, but to me, like you said, he's going to come in and then he'd be stunting the growth of Reece Nelson and guys like that. Same with Leivin Kazawa. I don't think we need another left back at the moment. I think, Saka has been brilliant. You've got Tierney there. And you say Kolasinac, but we might have to hold on to him, because finding teams that are going to be able to pay the sort of fee that we probably want for him might be difficult. So I just don't think we need another left back. Because Saka has done so brilliant. Had Saka have not performed like how he's done, maybe I might have said maybe could take a punt on him for a free. But no. And then, as I said, Ryan Fraser, out of the three, he'd be the one I'd more take. But again, I just think that, they're just going to stop the growth of some of them, because, we could keep Reece Nelson, give him another season and I think with Reece Nelson, I think if he gets a bit more strength to him, and a bit more awareness, I think he can become a top player.
Yeah, he needs that hard food, man.
Sorry?
He needs that hard food, man. He's a bit weak at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, sometimes he gets a bit bounced off the ball a bit too easy and stuff like that. And sometimes his decision making, he goes through a bit too much, and he could be better in front of goal, but he's work in progress and he's got so much ability and so much skill. And I just think to myself, he's come through the system and he's hungry and desperate to make it at Arsenal. And I'd like to see Arsenal keep faith in him. So to me, no, I'd say no to all three of those. I mean, I know that all three transfers ain't going to cost Arsenal a penny. And we all know that Arsenal like those deals, but I'd say no to all three of those, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, we need to go bigger and better than that if we want to get back in the top four.
Yeah. Aaron here, Aaron 11 says, he goes, what do you think about Soler and Rodriguez being linked to Arsenal?
James Rodriguez, man, come on, delete that one. I don't want nothing to do with that story, man. And Soler, I ain't seen enough of him, to be honest. He looks tidy on the. They want big money though.
Yeah, he would cost big money. This one here, Kuda, he says Arsenal is a retirement home.
You got Luis, Socrates, all them, man. They're chilling.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's time for us. But the thing is about it, right, is that after this coronavirus is all dies down and hopefully we get rid of it, I've been saying this before, there's not going to be big money to spend. I saw today that Barcelona players have agreed to take a 70% pay cut. Yeah. Basically, the reason why they're agreeing to do it throughout this crisis, and what their players are saying is that will allow the rest of the staff in the club, so the staff who work behind the scenes, for them to get paid their proper money. I think that's a fantastic gesture, and also where Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich, their players have agreed to take a pay cut. Will players in the Premier League, will Arsenal players agree to take a pay cut? Will players in the Premier League agree to take a pay cut? Because they all get paid really, really good money. What do you think?
Do you know what's going to be interesting? Sorry, first of all, I can see your transfer daily this summer, right? And we're going to be reading stories that Arsenal, because of this, we've only got 40 or 50 million pounds to spend, and you know what I mean? They're going to jump all over that, man. But yeah, for real. I don't see why top athletes shouldn't do that. They've got enough money. They need to help out the regular person who works in the club. I mean, Barcelona, one of the richest clubs in the world. If they're doing it, there's no reason Arsenal players, for example, shouldn't be doing it if they have to. But what a great gesture, to be fair.
It is, and it's going to be really interesting, as I said, to see if Arsenal players, and not just Arsenal, other teams in the Premier League follow suit. I reckon they will. I mean, there has been the case of a couple of ex-Arsenal players in recent days where they were asked to. That was Alex Song and Johan de Jure. They're both at a club called FC Sion, and over there in Switzerland, and they were asked to take a pay cut, and they refused, and the club sacked them. And now they're going to court, which it looks. I mean, I can kind of see it from their point of view because what Song was saying was basically they just got a text message to say, yeah, everyone's taking a pay cut, and they hadn't agreed to it. But in a time like this, I think players have got to bear with the situation. I mean, and I thought, if like you said, if Barcelona can be pay cuts, then it could be.
Then everyone. Yeah, exactly, man. But like you said, I think Song and them, they felt like it was a bit imposed on them rather than being asked of them. But financially, it's hitting everyone. So, footballers are no different, man. Some of them might have to take the hit as well because it's going to hurt clubs big time, innit? The loss of money on them.
And as you said, it will have a knock-on effect to transfers. Hence why we've been linked with all these free transfers, because it might be that come the end of the season. It might be a freeze.
Imagine we sign all three of them.
And of course, the big fear is, we seem to talk about it on every single show, the big fear is, of course, Aubameyang. I keep looking on it and thinking to myself, is it a thing that Arsenal might look to cash in on Aubameyang?
Yeah. Yeah, do you know what? Because, in this current climate, with Ozil still being there, can you see Arsenal giving Aubameyang 300k a week? That worries me, And like you said, they might be looking at it going, he's 31 in June. They might think, Barca, Real Madrid, someone willing to give you 50, 60 million. You got Martinelli, you got Lacazette, you got Pepe. That it wouldn't surprise me if they went down that route. I mean, me as a fan, you as a fan, we don't want to see that, but it wouldn't surprise me, man. And a lot of teams seem to want Aubameyang as well.
On the other hand, how many teams are going to, again, if a team like Barcelona are taking 70% pay cuts and things like that, how many teams are going to be able to afford to pay a 31-year-old 200 grand? That's the other thing.
And that's the thing. That might actually save us. And also the other thing, as we were saying before, if we end up in the Champions League by default, so to speak, if the league was to, be void, then Aubameyang might think, you know what, they're a Champions League club, I'll stay. But it might change things.
A couple of reasons how we could keep him by default.
Null and void the season, but it was interesting anyway. The conversation with Boateng, it was a little bit awkward.
What did you make of that?
You know what? I didn't read too much into it because he's not going to jump all over it and say, like, yeah, I want to say this. Like you said, his agent's going to say, look, man, we're talking to them. We don't know what's going to happen. But it did look a little bit like, I don't really want to commit to anything here. But you can't blame him, to be honest. If you take out the emotion as a fan, it's a hard time for him to commit to Arsenal, especially if Barca and teams like that are looking at him.
All right. Let's get into some more comments here. Mahmouda says, Robbie, what do you think about Coutinho at our number 10? We need goals at that position. We definitely do. I know you're always having a go at Ozil, aren't you? You always seem to be attacked.
Yeah.
Many times unfairly, in my opinion, but you and my brother always tearing into Ozil. Would he be a good replacement for Ozil?
Brilliant. brilliant replacement. I mean, from what I'm reading, Barcelona are chucking him away. They're not interested in him. Talking about a 1-year loan if you pay a big fee. I'd love to get Coutinho in.
Okay. Umar here says Aubameyang's not good enough for Barcelona or Real Madrid.
I disagree with that, man. He could play for both.
I think he could play for both. You know, he could definitely play for both. I mean, all right, is he better than Suarez? I suppose you could say no, he's not better than Suarez, but definitely he could get into that team. He's good enough to get into both of those teams. He scores as many goals as Benzema would. Seeing he's better than Jovic, who they've gone there. You know what I mean? So why not?
Yeah.
Definitely good enough for those teams, in my opinion. Abdi says, I think Arsenal will cash in on Aubameyang and use the money to buy players that can fix the weak points, like defensive midfielder and centre-back position, but I would love him to stay. What about that? Is it worth selling him to strengthen in the areas that we need?
The thing is, you sell Aubameyang, right? With a year left, you probably get 50 million for him, especially in this climate. Could be less. If you was to get Upamecano, he's going to take all of that money. I wanted Thomas Partey in defensive midfield, but I'm reading he's probably signing a new contract. But he would cost 50 million by himself. So you're selling Aubameyang, you're only probably going to get one of those two players in those positions anyway. So it's disappointing because we always sell to improve in another position. You know, we sold Sanchez to buy Aubameyang. Imagine if we added Aubameyang to Sanchez, how good we would have been.
Andrew Chow with a super chat. He says Ron Robbie. I think he might have meant Don Robbie. Ron Robbie. There might not be a transfer window until next year if this coronavirus continues. Your thoughts on that and what would happen to loan deals? Well, till next season. He's right. They might have to extend that, but remember, contracts are legally binding things. So I think it's a difficult one. You know what I mean? Those contracts are up at the end of the season, aren't they? I mean, it's a difficult one to. I don't know what they're going to do with that situation. If I'm being honest, I just can't answer that right now. You know what I mean? Because. What's your thoughts?
Player contracts, if you're out of contract, they end on the 30th of June, right? So what happens if the season was to continue beyond June? You're officially out of contract. So you could have signed a pre-contract with another club that starts the day after, but you're playing for your old club. So I don't know how they're going to work that, but I think the season's finished, mate. Honestly, I don't see this season resuming. I don't see how they can do it.
Yeah. It's looking bleak at the moment. Anikan says, swap Lacazette with Thomas Partey. Of course, Atletico Madrid have been interested in Lacazette. And keep Aubameyang while replacing Lacazette with the Celtic striker.
Yeah, that's that Edouard.
Edouard, yeah. I've seen him. He's decent.
He does look good.
Obviously, it's no disrespect to
him.
Before you guys come down on your toe of the bricks. But it is the Scottish League. I'm sorry. You got Celtic there, Rangers. After that, I mean, come on. A lot of those teams up there, you'd be the equivalent of Edouard tearing up the Championship, isn't it? If we're being real.
Yeah.
You don't know. It's a completely different ball game to the Premier League. However, many people in Scotland will argue, look at some of the imports that have come recently. Virgil van Dijk, who's now the best defender in this league, was in Scotland. So, Edouard?
It depends how much, man. I don't know. I'm a little bit hesitant. Like you said, man, Scott Sinclair looked like Ronaldo in Scotland. And now he's at Princeton. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm not sure about that one.
All right.
Keep
Lacazette. Nathaniel James says, Ozil's agent has said he's staying. What's your reaction to that? He's been saying that all along, and I really don't think he's going to want to go anywhere until his contract's over, especially now. Might have to take a pay cut. They might ask him to take a pay cut.
Yeah. Ozil will be here till the end of that contract. There's no doubt about that. He will see that out, man.
Yeah. So I was asked this question. Me and Troops was asked this question earlier. Let me ask you it as well. Aaron 11's asking it. Would you prefer Partey or Ndidi?
Oh, that's a tough one. Do you know what? I do like Partey. You know, I feel Ndidi's a bit more defensive. So maybe we need Ndidi more, really, because he's more defensive minded, I think, than Partey. Yeah, so I think we could do with Ndidi more. Let's play that way.
I'd rather go for Ndidi. There's lots of good transfer ones coming through here. On 1999 says sell Aubameyang, buy Inaki Williams. Similar attributes. Inaki Williams, of course, who plays for Atletico Bilbao, isn't it? Good player, quick. That's what similar attributes. But Aubameyang is a better finisher for sure.
And that Inaki Williams got a massive release clause as well, man. He'd cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Aubameyang's better than him. I don't think Aubameyang deserves. I don't think Aubameyang sometimes he don't get the respect he deserves sometimes. No,
he doesn't. People don't really put respect on his name sometimes. Hamid says Saka for Upamecano and Grealish. I think he must mean Saka, Upamecano and Grealish. Sell Saka for Upamecano?
I don't know what he's saying there.
But I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that. No. I'm not up for that. We keep Saka. Homegrown, he's going to be a superstar, in my opinion. Continues what I've seen him doing. Anthony Skelton here with a super chat. Big up, Anthony. And he says, Robbie, all the talk of transfers, will there actually be a transfer window in the current climate? Agents, I think he's saying railroad clubs, players can't travel for medicals or discuss personal terms. Never thought of that before.
Yeah.
Will there be a doctor to do any medicals? So you're all busy doing that, you know. That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, there'll always be transfers because you've got players. You're gonna have players at clubs that want to get out.
Yeah,
and you're gonna have players. You know, you're gonna have situations where teams need players. So there's always going to be transfers. I think it's just how they're going to do it. You know, that's Curtis, there's one for you here from Unknown Driller. He says, does Curtis rate Declan Rice? And for 50 million, would that be a good deal?
You know what? I think the guy's massively overrated. So even for 50 million, I wouldn't be near him.
I rate him.
Honestly. I don't
know about 50 million, but I rate him.
Do you? Mate.
Yeah, I rate him. I think he's good.
I think he's bang average, man. I call them try hard, man. They're all effort and passion, but I'm not a big fan of him, man. He reminds me of like Eric Dyer and that type of man.
Midfield. Come on, man. He's miles better than Eric Dyer. Come on. You dissed the man hard there now. He's miles better than Eric Dyer, man.
A little bit better, but I'm not a fan of him, man. Honestly, man.
Well, I don't know, man. I listen. I could see him in Arsenal's midfield.
Could you?
Yeah. I could see him. I think he's all right, man. He's decent.
English Jacob.
Huh?
English Jacob.
I think he's more mobile than Xhaka.
Yeah, he is a bit more mobile.
Alfred Brown, he says he's messaging from Facebook. And remember, we're going live to YouTube and Facebook. He says, by any chance, guys, do you know how much do we have in transfers this summer? I don't even think that Raul and them man are there. Right. Good luck asking Stan Kroenke how much is there available for this summer. I don't think it's going to be much.
No.
I've been making this point quite a lot of times, right? This guy now, the owner, Stan Kroenke, he's got the stadium to build over there in the States, a £5 billion LA Rams stadium.
You know? Do you know what I'm looking at though, Rob? I'm saying, you've got Mkhitaryan, you've got El Neni, you've potentially got maybe a Mustafi, Kolasinac, maybe Xhaka. There's a good 4 or 5 players we could sell there and raise a little bit of cash.
Not a lot, though.
Not loads, but a little something.
I mean, I guess those players, I think the critical thing is, those players that you just mentioned there, they're all on good money. I think Mustafi's on 80 grand a week, 80, 90 grand a week.
Yeah.
El Neni is on, I think, it's about 60.
Oh.
Yeah,
yeah. So it'd be difficult to move.
Yeah, they're all on good money, man. So yes, it would definitely be you know, good to get someone off the wage bill. But will they want to move, especially in the current climate?
Yeah.
Justin says, as a Canadian, Jonathan David is my dream. All right, so you know a lot about him.
Is that the striker? He plays for Ghent or something down here in Belgium. Yeah, I've seen him.
My dream is that guy, the one that's playing at he's Canadian as well. He's playing at Bayern.
Davis. Quick.
He's brilliant. He is. I really rate him. And Melina S says, "Big up Curtis. Stay safe. Much love from Toronto, Canada."
So, bless, man. I appreciate it.
Take care. Canada, right?
Yeah, man.
From Canada. G's up says Boubakary Samir from Lille is 10 times better than Rice. He's a player. Isn't he the one at 16 or something?
He looks like Pogba, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's young.
He's a baller, man. You know what I mean? I can't believe his age, you know?
Yeah. No, he looks good, man. Leave Rice alone.
Huh?
Leave Rice alone.
I like Rice, man. He's a decent player.
I like Rice and peas more than Declan Rice.
Is it stretched there? He says, Robbie, this is crazy. I'm a United fan and I'm now watching AFTV out of boredom. Well, trust me, mate. You will see some of the things I'll be watching, mate. Oh, God. Just trust me. It's a crazy time at the moment. Gonna do let's do a couple more before we shoot. Get a couple more in here for this one here. KFF. He says, Aubameyang or Aguero?
I mean, overall, Aguero's been the better striker, but I wouldn't swap Aubameyang for Aguero now in our team. I like the pace, man. I like the speed.
Okay, and we're going to finish with this one. Look at this one. You're getting a lot of love here, man. Mesmer Curtis is the new face of AFTV. Watch out, Robbie.
Oh, you better watch out, you know. I'm telling you. You better. I need a promotion or something.
You can get that. Come and see me. Oh no, you can't.
Yeah. No. I'll send you the one.
It's been great talking to you, mate. And we'll get you back on. And I know that you and Laurie are trying to get the show back up and running. Of course, it's very challenging times at the moment with the coronavirus thing going around. And you stay safe, mate. Stay inside, like you said. That's what I've been doing. I ain't stepped foot outside my house today. I'll be honest with you. Yeah,
it's the best way, man. It's the best way. And then I'll be watching your documentary later, anyway, man.
Oh yeah, thanks for mentioning it. Yeah, so the documentary, like I mentioned it about 100 times today, but yeah, the documentary is on tonight, 10:45. I want you guys to really give it a good watch. I think people should enjoy it. You know, and no, I saw some haters out there trying to say, "Oh, he's trying to say Arsenal are racist." Listen, why don't you watch the documentary first? Some of these men, watch it first, then say whatever you want to say after that. But some people, man. But listen, watch the documentary. Take it in tonight. It's on ITV at 10:45. It's looking at racism in football, but from a fan's perspective. Nobody's really ever done that before, so we've done that. And I think you guys will enjoy it. So yeah, looking forward to that airing tonight. And listen, Curtis, thanks very much for coming on. We'll get you back on very soon. We're all going to be here for a while.
Yeah, for real.
Stay safe, bro, and don't forget, beat this. Thank you very much to Curtis there, and thank you to you guys for watching today on AFTV. And we, of course, will be back with loads of videos tomorrow. I've got another one of my famous cooking isolation videos coming out tomorrow, so make sure you get ready for that if you want to cook some good food.